Projectability vision. I'm just going to talk a little bit about our vision. Projectability is a partnership that relies on the collaboration with our community-based organizations and the State Department of Rehabilitation to provide a workforce solution and talent to our clients that happens to have a disability. So when we looked at this vision and we set the vision, we said we really want to have a collaboration with our community-based organizations and the State Department to really understand, and I think, John, you talked about this, but one of the most important things when we talk about that roadmap, and I'll just move on to the next slide, we'll spend most of our time kind of talking through these phases, but one of the most important things when we identify a projectability opportunity in the community is really taking the time to understand the community in which we serve. This particular projectability that we will be launching at the end of April, we started the planning process with 2 community-based providers, Easter Seals as well as Best Buddies International. We started these discussions in November. We've almost had weekly meetings, some are half-day meetings. There's been a lot of discussion around this. So when I go through this, you'll say, oh, well, you know, this really took that long, but I think you'll see the complexity and the detail of which we want the program to be successful. And a big part of that is really understanding the individuals that which we're going to serve in our community. So I'm going to talk more about, I will get to that employer piece, which is the customer and engaging our employers in the community, but really that's going to come in phase 3. But I'm going to spend more time talking about how we got to understand in the process and how we will work together and how this will work for our communities. So number 1 phase is really internal phase, and that is for our Chief Diversity Officer, Martha Artillas, which many of you might have had an opportunity to meet Martha. Martha's really worked with the regional director for the city or the state to really identify the need for projectability as well as the commitment. We have 16 branches, however, we will have 5 that start off and participate with this projectability. And these 5 branches have ambassadors that have been trained and will continue to be trained on working with individuals with disabilities, ADA. They have gone through and will continue to go through a complexity of also how do we talk to our HR partners, how do we talk to our business clients, and also how do we work with our candidates as well as the CBOs. So phase 1 is done. Phase 2, I'll talk a little bit more in depth about phase 2. So when we look at phase 2, I talked about our 2 partners that we've been partnering with. We've really spent a lot of time looking at, and I'm going to forward on to the next slide and we'll come back, but we really spent a lot of time understanding the needs of the individuals which we'll serve. Some of them are completely competitive. Some of them may need some additional training. So what we've done in Projectability is we've launched an opportunity where we've created a candidate passport. And really what that candidate passport is it's a referral, it's a one sheet, pretty basic, but it's a referral passport, if you will, that the CBO or DVR will fill out with limited information, but we'll work with they'll fill out and then they'll send it over to the Manpower recruiter, one of those ambassadors. They'll talk about this individual, they'll talk about the opportunities, the interests, and then from there, those individuals will actually schedule a one-on-one discussion with this candidate. Now, really, this process, we were talking about this last night, this process is not different than how any other individual that would come through Manpower today. You come in, you have a discussion. That discussion is going to be with, it could be with a job coach, it could be with that CBO, the caseworker, but it's going to be in-depth conversation to really understand what the skills, what the interests, what they're willing to try, what some of the struggles that they face. So this recruiter will really understand and be able to represent this individual well. And once that occurs, that conversation will be anywhere, from 2-3 hour conversation, but then this individual will then help them complete a profile to get them ready to be presented or start to establish a training path. Many of them already have training paths, but we might need to just identify some additional training to get them job ready or to get them into a temporary opportunity to then get to a full-time opportunity.